Welcome to your Cochrane Right Now. This is a weekly podcast all about the best town in the world, Cochrane, Alberta. And I'm joined by Lauren Meister. Lauren, it's been a very, very, very rainy week this week.
It's rainy and it's windy and it's gray. I don't even really remember what the sun looked like at this point.
I miss you, son.
Right?
And the biggest thing is really there was a lot of hype about the rain. We're going to get so much rain, but the wind. Oh my gosh, we sent our intern to drive around town and just find uprooted trees. And he's just sending us photos. There's one here, there's one here.
There's a significant amount of damage. Trees being toppled over, like busting down fences into houses, and even some of the big trees over by the museum as well. Like big, huge, I'm guessing that some of those trees are like 100 years old.
Yeah,
so
and it was the perfect mix, right? Because we did get rain, so it softened the ground. And I know at my house I have this tree that can smash on my window, so all night I could hear my tree. So I'm in the same boat with everybody.
Was it a soothing smashing
sound?
No,
it wasn't a smoothing smash. And now it's kind of bent and it's touching the eaves trough, and I'm like, well, that's probably somebody's problem. Probably mine.
Probably yours.
I don't know.
Do you have a tall enough ladder?
No, I don't own a ladder.
Oh, right. Did you scale the outside of your house?
I'm thinking I could open my window and saw it.
Nice. Do you have a saw?
No. Scissors.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. A steak knife. But we haven't had any flooding, which is good. But man, did it take me back. We both lived in town in 2013 when the flood was a real issue.
Yeah.
And I remember I was working in the city at the time at a different radio station. So I was stuck in the city a lot doing that kind of stuff. And my wife would call me and give me bogus updates, because there were so many rumors around town.
Yeah.
The update I remember the most was Highway 22 was flooding.
Oh.
So you couldn't get up to Sunset. And I was like, how is this happening?
What? And Sunset is up a hill.
I know.
That would be a problem if anything flooded that high. West Valley, all of downtown Cochrane would be flooded.
Yeah, so I was in Calgary at the time being like, oh my gosh, how is this? It broke my brain. She's like, it's a waterfall. Cars can't get up.
What?
I'm like, how's this? So I think there was a lot of misinformation going on at that time.
Yeah, sometimes social media, that happens.
And I was working in the media, fast-paced part of it, and you were at home, not helping anyone.
I know. Okay, so you and I were actually working for the same company at the same time.
Not knowing it, though.
Yeah, no.
Not
So we didn't
it.
actually know each other, but we worked for the same radio stations, actually. It was 3 different radio stations, sister stations. But I worked on the news side of things. You were more on air.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was on mat leave.
Oh, no.
So
getting paid to hang out with your baby.
I know. Well, let me tell you, I was a little bit jealous, though. So my son was 6 months old at the time, and he's 9 now. And it just killed me to be off on mat leave at that time, because all of my friends who were in the news at the time, they were just this is the story of a lifetime, a once in a century flood, right? Once in 100-year flood. And I was watching the news. I'm listening to every radio station and thinking I want to contribute. I want to help. I'm taking photos. I went for a walk with my baby at the time in the baby carrier.
Look at these photos. Do they help?
Yeah.
Thanks, Lauren.
Exactly. And I would kind of get as close as I could to the river safely with my baby in tow. And so I feel like I missed out because I wasn't really in the thick of it, but I still got to witness it. And man, it was crazy. Just how many trails right here in Cochrane even that were just flooded over.
And it seems like some of them are still you still see the effects when you walk near some of those trails near the river there and Jumping Pound. It was a disaster, and a lot of people were scared that it was going to happen. But I think I saw we got maybe 75 millimeters between Monday and now.
Well, just different circumstances. So before 2013, it rained a lot leading up to that event. It was warmer, so we had a lot of that snow melt. This time it's colder, so we were actually getting snow that's not melting.
Yeah.
So that really helped our circumstances. Plus, they put a lot of infrastructure in place since 2013, so we're better prepared to handle more rainfall. So we were just better off this time around. So that's
some
good
cool
news.
Videos coming out though of water where it shouldn't be. We saw a video of a snake near the water escaping up a fence, being like, "Oh, freedom!" Yeah, no, you're not a fan. You're not a fan of snakes? Well, there was a snake actually that got loosed up in Bow Ridge, a pet snake.
Yes, I'm going to be avoiding Bow Ridge for a little while here. I know.
So a nice lady, she has a reptile business, and she posted on social media earlier this week, hey, heads up, my Brazilian rare yellowtail Crebo escaped. So if you see him, don't touch him. He's not mean. Just don't touch him because he'll run away.
Don't touch him.
And
He's
if
harmless.
you found him, you get $500.
How much is the snake worth, though, if the reward is $500? That is my question.
And the snake didn't have a name, so you can't go out into the field and be like, hey, Spot, come here, buddy.
Does snakes respond to names?
Oh, yeah.
They're that smart?
No.
I thought they didn't even hear. I thought they just had like senses.
Yeah,
and
their tongue.
Yeah. I'm not a snake person.
What? No. So we haven't had an update about the snake. I feel like it might still be on the loose. And I know that snakes can live for a long time, even outside. So I think it'll be okay. And maybe on your walk, you'll be able to discover this rare yellowtail snake.
I'm lucky to say I live on the other side of the river.
Snakes can swim, man.
Well, we saw yesterday, though, that the garter snake didn't want to swim and was climbing up a fence. So snakes don't like to swim. So I'm good. I'm not worried.
You just will never go to Bow Ridge ever again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never again. Sorry, I have good friends who live in Bow Ridge. I'm not visiting you.
You're cut out.
Yeah,
well,
not happening.
On that side of the river, you have bears. I think I'd rather the snake than the bear.
No, I'll take a bear any day of the week over a
way.
snake. 100,000,000%.
So what's going on? Black bear sightings?
Yeah, black bear sightings. So my kids went to the park on Sunday and they were gone for like 10 minutes.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they came back home and I was like, well, that's weird. 10 minutes. Like usually
Get outside, please.
Totally.
Kids.
Well, usually when they're gone for hours, right? And anyway, some neighbor said like, hey, maybe go home. There was just a black bear that ran across the street. So there was a black bear in the community of Riviera and in Precedence. So 2 different sightings that I'm aware of on Sunday afternoon. But it looked like a younger bear from the pictures that I saw. And obviously, it's not unusual. We see bear sightings
isn't that
all
just
the
like
time.
June, July for you guys over on that side of the river? Like they just wander in those hills
all the time. I mean, I saw one last summer. You hear about it all the time. This is the first one that I've heard so far this spring, though. But there's probably been other sightings. But
do you get warnings about like your black bins and bird feeders and all that stuff?
No, I mean, anytime we ever talk to Fish and Wildlife officials, they always say like, make sure you keep those attractants away. Obviously you should not be having bird feeders out. That just attracts wildlife and bears and whatnot. So that's kind of something that we should know not to do. And whenever there is a bear sighting, keep your pets on the leash, all that kind of stuff, all those things.
You don't hit me as a birdhouse family.
We do have birdhouses.
Really?
Actually, my kids have made them in school.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so lots of animals wandering around Cochrane right now. And we got to talk to a fox, Mr. George Fox.
Yes.
Yes. So it was really cool. He's getting inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Canadian Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And so we reached out to him, and it was really cool because he's such a star, an icon. And it was just like, yeah, I'll call you guys. Right?
It was so cool. It was cool hearing from somebody who grew up here in Cochrane and just the stories that he was telling us about Cochrane and how it was like 30, 40 years ago. Like the population was like 4,000 people when he grew up here.
Yeah, and went to Westbrook School, went to Cochrane High, right? And just the stories that we had to let him go because he could have told us stories for hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, such an interesting person to talk to. I'm looking forward to meeting him when he comes here in the fall.
Yeah, because the Hall of Fame is in September in Calgary.
Yes.
How can he not come home?
Oh, he said he was going to, so we're going to hold him to that, 100%.
Do you think they would let us get like his signature on the real George Fox sign? Like that's where we should take him. Get him to sign it like the one that you see.
I feel like if anybody else tried to sign that, that'd be like vandalism.
Yeah.
But if George Fox was going to sign it, then I feel like that's legit.
That's how we should set it up.
Yeah. That's okay, right?
Yeah. And with this rain, before this big rainfall, here at the radio station, we had a fun mini disaster that happened. So when a lot of rain happens, it can go into the sewer, Lauren, and then the sewer can fill up. And we have a bathroom down in our basement here that is actually one of the lowest points in Cochrane. And water likes to run downhill. along with a lot of other stuff. So our bathroom kind of exploded. And we got to experience 2020 over again because when your bathroom explodes, you got to work from home. What? You don't want to talk about this story?
Yeah. No, I came into work last week, one of the days, and
like you come in really early.
I come in really early.
Yeah, like your morning show, so you're in 4:30-ish. No one else is hanging out.
No
you're
one
the
else.
first one here.
Well, once in a while, Noel's hanging out, but on this
100%.
particular day, I came in, there was
You
no one here.
opened the door.
I opened up the door, and I was like, holy moly. There's something going on in this building, and it's not right.
I'm sure you used the words holy moly. Oh, G-Dog.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, this is not right. This is not right.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of investigating, went down to the basement, and instantly I am sending emails and emails, and I'm like,
phone calls to people
there's
at
a
5
problem
a.m.
in the building, and this needs to be addressed right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is a major issue.
Yeah.
Like, we need some help.
Yeah, so we gotta give a huge shout out to the town. They came with their trucks and they sucked out the manholes, and a few plumbers came and hung out with us and all that stuff.
And some cleaners.
And some
cleaners,
some
which
cleaners, very
I
important.
don't know how much money they get paid to do their job, but I'm sure it's not enough.
Oh, it was funny because they came in before they were cleaning. I was like, this isn't fun, guys. And they were just like, no, it's just our day job. Like, they're so desensitized to these kind of things. And they were just like, they were all smiles. They were,
Were
like,
they wearing full hazmat suits?
No. They were in short shorts and they were just ready to.
Short shorts. I guess that's wise. I don't know.
But it wasn't fun. So, but a huge shout out.
And it wasn't just us affected. There were actually other businesses in the area that actually had to be closed down for a couple of days.
Yeah,
as
which
well.
really sucks, right? And it opens your eyes to how much water can really cause some damages outside of just like flooding some areas. Like, it happens.
Well, and it's tricky for us too, is because it's not super simple to just work from home.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we did have a pandemic the last couple of years, so some people are well equipped to just work from home and they're set up. But I've never worked from home.
No.
I've been here every single day this entire time. So I don't have the proper equipment at home. I can do some things. I can write stories and stuff. But as far as like the audio and all that kind of stuff, I don't have the equipment. So it was a bit of a challenge.
It was like
an
Vicks
adventure.
in the nose, that kind of trick.
So basically it was just, we have a nice lavender or lilac bush outside.
Yeah, nice purple lilacs.
Yeah, beautiful. So we had those like just surrounded like all around us here. So just trying to get like lots of nice scents around us to drown out the smells. But just making sure that we're better equipped in the event that this happens again, because
it won't ever happen again. Never again.
Yeah.
But if you come and visit us at the radio station now, we have set up like so many of those diffusers.
Yeah.
And it smells like lemongrass. So it kind of smells like soup constantly now.
It smells nice in here now.
Yes.
For the moment.
For the moment. So please come still visit us. We've cleaned it all up. And that is everything happening in Cochrane right now. You can grab this podcast on all your favorite services, your Apples, your Spotifys, and every single week we hang out and talk all about Cochrane. Thanks again, Lauren.
Thank you.